we are all paying for demons that we have off of, I need a little bit more time out here. A little bit more time out here.
In sports, you get ultimatums all the time. Hey, listen, if you're not here on time, you're not gonna make the team. If you don't come to practice, you're not making the team. I mean, that's an ultimatum in the smallest form.
I would hate to give an ultimatum and it actually crushes who you're gonna be. But you got to know who you are. You got to know what you bring to the table, and you got to know that they know what they losing.
I'm Simeon Pando.
Victoria Monet.
Dang.
I'm Melvin Gregg.
This is another episode of Nice and Neat.
I'm Duke.
I'm Omar. I'm Jalon.
Welcome back to another episode.
Yo, what's the deal, y'all? Hope all is well. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and this is another episode of the #1 podcast in all of Los Angeles. Nice and Neat, my brothers. We got another episode. We're doing it a little different today. A little different today. We got a question from the audience, and I thought it was interesting. And I felt like we don't necessarily have to answer it per se, but I feel like it's a good topic to talk around.
Okay.
And express if you've ever been here before. You know, we like to talk about our experiences and kind of give advice based off of our experiences and what we did. Now, if you take it as advice, but it's kind of, you ready for it?
Take everything.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Do you feel like people who use ultimatums are truly ready to go through with the other side of what that ultimatum could be?
The people who offer the ultimatum?
Yes.
Nah, I think the people who offer the ultimatum are betting that the other person chooses
What they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel like anybody rolls into an ultimatum like thinking and believing that this person is going to go the other way. It's like this is like calculated gamble that I'm taking today. I don't know why I did this.
Yeah,
Dice.
shooting dice.
Dice. All right. Anybody that's taking that risk, that's gamble, you know what I mean? I feel like they have analyzed their situation, and to them, it's calculated. It's calculated. This is a strategic play here.
They're not willing to, if the worst come, the worst come. They're not.
That's not what they're standing on.
Okay.
Nah, what they're hoping and believing is that this pressure that I'm applying on this person will have them fold into what I want them to I guess, align with. But any person in the world that's offering an ultimatum does not believe that the person is going to take the alternative option. I've never been faced with the ultimatum as an adult, honestly.
No, that's
the ultimatums that I've been faced with go back to like my teenage years. It was like, yo, it's either me or her. I'm like,
Me or her.
That's not even a real ultimatum.
Usually when me says it, she's not gonna be her. That's usually how that ultimatum goes.
for sure.
If you got to do that, it's like her not even pressed about me.
I stayed with the girl who offered the ultimatum just because her moved.
Okay, so that leads us into the next space. We're talking about compromising and settling.
Yep.
Right? So, do you feel like you just kind of like compromised where you were at that point in time? Or do you feel like you completely settled? Because her wasn't in the picture anymore.
I think I just compromised. I don't believe that I settled.
Okay.
To be honest, I think my back against the wall, even if the other girl was still in the picture, I still would have chose the girl who offered me the ultimatum. Again, it's something that I just don't believe mature individuals are offering other mature individuals. For me, I've only experienced that in my teenage years. Maybe Duke a little later in his life, but I don't think it's something he's experienced in the past 7-8 years. You know what I mean? I think mature people aren't offering others ultimatums. It's like
compromise. Compromise, you said, what's the difference between compromise and
settling?
You said you compromised, but didn't settle. You felt like you compromised, but didn't settle.
I mean, truthfully, maybe I did settle.
Okay.
Was it somewhere you wanted to be?
It's somewhere that I want to be
Okay,
though. That's
okay.
why.
So
that's why I
that's a
leaned in. That's why I leaned into
So,
compromise.
so I feel like we're gonna go there. Before we go there, let's set the ground rules and the ground foundation before we jump into it. Settling is making do with less.
Okay.
Compromise is accepting less of one thing in return for more of another.
Yeah, I compromised.
Okay.
I compromised, for sure.
That's a good one, actually.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I like
Because
I like that definition.
compromise, I think compromise is difficult because you might not always be able to see what that more is going to be.
Yes, you only think about what you're losing.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why compromise be so hard sometimes.
It feels like you losing.
Because you just losing and you're not getting what you want.
Yep.
Or you having to give a little more or some shit.
Or
like
you're not
that.
getting what you want right now.
Hey, I'm going to ask y'all, in y'all relationships, do you feel like the pendulum of compromise swings in your favor more or in your partner's?
I feel like my partner. I feel like we have to be way more compromising. It's on us to protect the relationship, and sometimes I feel like a lot of the compromising duties fall on us
Oh, that's interesting.
to help our women feel secure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do you not agree?
I don't. I think our women compromise more just because they have to kind of fit in our bubble. So they have to kind of conform to the things we got going on. And it's a good thing though, because it happens when they trust us to lead and trust us to have vision and direction. So, there's not too many things in just moving around in your life that you got to move around to fit her life because you're not following her. You know what I'm saying? Now, from an emotional standpoint, yes, you compromise and you are just aware of what you're creating for her. But I think that, and this is what Chanel brought to my attention, is like, she moved out here. You know what I mean? So like, as much as I can create an environment for that, that's a compromise. Even if she wanted to do it though, that's the thing. Like, you can still want to do it, but it happens because she knows that, hey yo, naturally, the way the dynamic works is like women are usually going to fit into a man's world that they deem suitable to be a partner. They're going to fit into that world, right? So I'm going to change some things up because I trust that you're going to take us in the right place. I think that. Would you say, bro?
Can you have compromise if you don't have vision? If you just having a conversation on like, hey, yo, I think this is the way that we should go. But let's say the other person doesn't have a vision on the way that they think they should go. Is it compromise for them to go the way that you are leading?
Is it a compromise for them?
Yeah.
To go to the way that you want?
Yeah.
And even if I don't have a vision.
No, you do have the vision.
I have a vision.
They don't. Is it compromise?
What's being compromised?
It's always something being compromised. That's what it's saying. So it maybe
Even
it's
in
not
that situation?
Maybe it's not their vision. Maybe it's
Like dude
their
said,
activity.
Yeah, where their feet is planted.
Yeah.
It could be, okay.
Maybe it's just their comfort. I compromise my comfort. So for instance, if I say, yo, babe, I really gotta save money because we trying to get a house. So let's downsize. And she don't want to downsize, but she's like, you know what, I'm gonna compromise because I trust that this is gonna happen. That's a compromise.
Yep.
Even if she don't even have an idea of where she want to live, like it's certain things, accommodations that she got to make to, to get on page with me. I think that's a compromise. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's good.
I think women compromise a lot. I think women compromise a lot for sure.
That's it. When you say
Who
that,
asked that question? Was that you or was that you? What do you think though?
honestly, this is like one of those, this is why we sit down and we talk, because I was fully on board with, I feel like when I'm having conversations, I feel like I'm compromising more. But when we look at the grand scheme of life and the plan and what it's going to look like, I do feel like women actually compromise
Women
a lot
definitely
more.
compromise more.
I feel like in the small tiffs that you might get into emotionally, where you feel like you bite your tongue as a male, you feel like, man, I'm compromising right now. I'm not going to say anything. I'll pick and choose my battles. However, on the day-to-day, on just the wake up, I feel like women do compromise.
It's crazy. I just feel like those other moments that you're talking about, that with an argument, those are just so big for us. So I feel like sometimes you could feel like we're compromising more.
Yeah.
Because those moments are huge moments where you have to really have self-control, empathy,
Like, think about this, right? Being the breadwinner of a household and all of the things that your partner might want to do kind of got to be put on the back burner because if you are not available to do what you need to do, something might not get done. So they kind of got to move at your discretion, and everything in that can be compromised. Like Duke is saying, I actually, man, at one point in time, I thought the definition of compromise for me was wrong. I used to think compromise just meant somebody's not getting something that they want, and that's it.
Yep.
And that's how I used to always look at compromise. So it was just like, don't ever not do anything you want to do. Do it. But compromise is almost like having faith in your partner. Like, I don't see it, but I believe in you. So, okay, I'm cool with this. Because I like you said, though, I feel like I compromise a lot.
But I understand what you guys are saying, though, right? Whatever that word is, men do that more. Mm-hmm. Right? Right? No, I understand what you're saying. Regulate. We regulate more.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yes.
Like,
maybe compromise is not the word.
Not in the sense of 90s definition of regulate.
No.
We regulate our emotions.
we regulate and say, and we concede to a woman's comfort more.
Yes.
Say, you know what?
Yes.
You know what? Cool. I'll shut up. I'll take the back seat, right?
Yep.
Because how she feels is how she feels, and that's not really compromise. But I do understand that part, and men absolutely do that more, for sure. That's crazy.
Like, think about how many. I was talking about this with one of my friends, and we were talking about the double standards that exist in relationships. And, I feel like there's a space where women are just a little bit more snappy than we're allowed to be.
Yes.
And sometimes you got to kind of take a step back and you almost want to act like, hey, why are you talking to me like that? Why are you rushing me? I would never rush you like that. I would never do those things. But I feel like that's where the double standard lives, to where it's just like, all right, you got that. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting down, I was trying to understand. I was like, man, I wish I really understood women. I wish I really, really understood women so I could understand where that came from. You know what he told me? He said, that's like trying to understand God, bro. It's never going to happen.
It's not. Just do the best you can.
It's like trying to understand God.
It's never going to happen. But that's what keeps drawing us closer to each other.
Yeah.
Because it's the yearning to, like, I want to know why you do it, why you operate like that, why do you maneuver like that, and I'll never understand.
Have you ever been faced with an ultimatum?
Faced with an ultimatum? Not by somebody I care about.
Very important.
Yeah, not by somebody.
Is it even an ultimatum if it's someone that you don't care about?
Yeah.
It's an ultimatum. It just doesn't get acknowledged. Like, it's like, you get hit with an ultimatum. Yo, Yolanda, you better. Or, okay, well, when she's over it, I'll talk to her. But no, by a partner, absolutely not. No, because I feel like I've never been with my partner and we weren't equally yoked. We weren't moving in the same direction. And I say yoked in the sense of the way they do with cattle. We were moving in the same direction. So nobody's ever had to try to coerce me into taking a relationship to another level, getting a ring, planning a wedding. No, we don't have to force each other to do any of those things. Now, I feel like ultimatums happen, and I know we were joking about it, but I feel like ultimatums typically happen with somebody who cares more about somebody than the other person. I don't think ultimatums happen when we're on the same page.
Yeah.
I think it's very, very difficult for ultimatums to happen. Now, I do feel like this, though. I feel like there are spaces where you may grow faster than your partner, and you might be in a growth phase and your partner is not, and you're doing your best to pull them out, and you guys do come to a crossroad. Mm-hmm. Now, do I think delivering an ultimatum is the best thing? No, because I think an ultimatum is very, very definite, and at the end of the day, we are combative creatures, and we're probably not going to like the way that makes us feel. But I've seen you know, women like, yo, you either put a ring on it or I'm out of here. We've been dating for 12 years. You put a ring on it or I'm out of here.
Okay, let's not call it 12. Let's call it 6. Let's break it in half. Right? Let's talk something really more realistic. Like, what should a man do in that type of situation? What would you do if you were in that situation? If you were with your woman for 6 years and she gave you that ultimatum?
Put a ring on it or she's out of there?
Yeah.
I would hope she gave me that ultimatum in 6 years.
Right.
Being completely honest. Like, honestly, I'm trying to get better at looking at situations, how I would look at it if this was my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I'm just trying to get so much better. So if in 6 years I'm pushing 40 years old and I've been dating. I took this woman's entire 30s, and she has to ask me if we're gonna get married. I wouldn't want my daughter to go 6 years in her 30s and have to ask somebody if they're gonna get married. Or is that the direction that we're gonna move in? Absolutely not. Now, if we've been dating since we was 18 and now we're 24. And I'm trying to get my money right, and I want to put us in the best space for marriage, we probably would have to seek wise counsel. Because if we've been together from 18 to 24, and she's like, hey, we've been together 6 years now, like, I'm ready to start my family, she can be very valid in that. Mm-hmm. And he also can be very valid in, like, hey, I don't feel like I'm financially ready to do that. And if she says, hey, yo, I don't think that's important to me, I just want to ensure that we're going to be together for the rest of our lives, and he still doesn't feel that way, I feel like they should seek wise counsel. I don't think that's a decision that they'll probably be able to handle on their own, because he sees what's in his face and she sees what's in her face, and there's not going to be any changing of their minds there. I'm actually thankful that I'm not in a situation like that. To be 24 in love in a relationship for 6 years and get hit with an ultimatum, what would you do?
In that case, I think, man, that's tough. Because that's different. That's life changing. Mm-hmm. Because if you walk out your life, that could be life changing.
Yeah.
And if you were her for 6 years and you plan on being married, then I would marry her.
Even though you're not ready.
But here's the thing. After 6 years, I'll ask myself, well, what am I not ready about, and have I communicated with it? Mm-hmm. Communicated it, right? And if it's a finance thing, I say, listen, I'm not financially ready, and she's like, oh, let's do it anyway. That's not going to be a problem. I said, how is it not going to be a problem? Because X, Y, Z. Oh, here's the money. Oh, she's like, okay, cool. So if it's not money, then are you willing to work with me? Okay, I'll marry you then. Because in that case, like, you understand. But then kids may be a different story.
Kids make things difficult.
Kids may be a different story. Because you get married and, like, the finances is to the finances. That's not an extra mouth to feed. But when you get kids, it's an extra mouth to feed, extra things to buy, new equipment, new things to learn, less time to work for one of y'all. So that changes things. But I think I'll do it. I think I'll marry, because I will understand it.
Yeah,
I will understand it, and I will understand that I actually want to get married anyway. I'm just, because, like, if I'm waiting for 6 years and someone says, hey, yo, marry me now or I'm out, if I want to get married anyway to this woman, I'm going to do it.
Where you at, O?
In that situation?
Yeah, that very situation.
Yeah, I would probably marry too. I mean, there's a reason why I've been in this relationship for 6 years.
I'm not going to call the bluff right there.
Hey, yeah. Through some of the most lit times in your life.
And if I didn't leave then,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Honestly, whatever it is that's holding me back, she's willing to ride it out with me, so let's just do it.
So now, let me ask you guys this. That's your son in the same exact situation. And you guys have talked about, like, just the life plan that you have, and, like, you like the girl and everything like that. But I know how you feel. 24 is too young to be getting married.
For me.
I forgot we 24 years old. That was the scenario?
Dude just,
yes.
24 years old.
Yeah.
That changes things.
Dude just said she could walk out of your life, and that changed things. And at that age, I feel like, and for my son, it's like, well, if she walk out, son, you got time to find another one.
Oh, you're gonna get better.
You feel me? At 24, bro, you haven't even seen anything.
Yeah, 24 is crazy.
If in 10 years we still have this conversation, you know, we'll address it differently. But at 24, bro,
24.
Hey, man, as much as I hate to tell you, choose a ladder.
At 24, so young that the next girlfriend you get, she ain't gonna be the one.
Yeah, that part.
Yo,
That part.
And my question is that true?
is what true?
What we're saying. Is that true? Is it true that breaking up at this age, it will not change your life at all?
24.
24.
Yeah, no, it could. It could. The person of your life, the love of your life, you can meet her at 24. But chances are it's
24, you got time to rebound. You got time.
But I don't think it's about the rebound though, because you do got time to rebound, but you also it can never happen. No matter, so sometimes people think, men in particular, right? We think that we can work ourselves into marriage, we could work ourselves into having a great wife, I should say. All right, we could always get married, just become successful. We can marry a beautiful woman at the drop of a dime, right? If we just work hard, we get married. But the person you're married, like that person don't just come along, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you can be the smoothest cat, be a leader, you could have you could know how to speak to women, but you still won't get that same woman, another woman. Some women are very special.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Some women come around once in a lifetime. And you may get another woman who feels good, but she won't be the same person. And that could change your life. And then you'll
It's
be
just like at 24, how the hell do you have...
You don't know that. What I would say, I would take that bet though. At 24, I'm taking that bet.
We'll break up.
We'll break up. I'm gonna take that bet. I'm just saying it still could happen. But
Yeah.
at 24, I'm gonna bet on myself.
Okay, now
After being with her for 6 years.
at 24, yeah.
Now let me ask you guys this. Oh, you got a daughter on the way. Mm-hmm. You have a daughter. She's 24 years old. She's been dating this guy for 6 years. Mm-hmm. Trajectory of the relationships are really good. She graduated college. She's moving into her career. Mm-hmm. 24. She's not a young dumb 24. She graduated from college. She's moving into her career. She's ready to be established. And she said, "Dad, I'm ready to get married." Mm-hmm. And she says,
And y'all been 6 years in already.
6 years in. 6 years in. "Dad, I'm ready to get married."
Man.
What would you tell her?
Clearly, assuming that she's already spoke to her boyfriend about it.
She tells you.
Yeah, I would say you need to have a sit down with your boyfriend, and you guys need to discuss and see if you guys are in alignment. Because honestly, I approved him 6 years ago. You know what I mean?
Got you.
So it's really not on me. It's
Okay, now let's go deeper into the
Okay.
question. She talks to him. He says to her, "I'm not ready." Right? "I'm not ready. I don't think we should be doing that right now." "Okay, when do you think we should be doing that?" "I don't know, but I'm not ready. I don't think we should be doing that right now." Would you advise your daughter stay in this relationship, or is that the end of the relationship?
I would say stay.
Stay.
I would say stay. There's no reason to leave. There's no reason to leave. This guy's a good man. He treats you well. You guys have a great relationship. You know, you just want something that he's not ready for at the moment. I don't think it's worth letting go of the relationship over.
Just stay.
Nah. Now, if their situation wasn't healthy, then yeah, we gotta leave.
So that's why I asked. 24. I feel like 24, 25. I'll even give you 26. It's a sweet spot of like, I'm kind of consistent in who I am developing into. I feel like 27 to 30, there's a drastic change in who you are as a man. And that partner that you have can be a part of that drastic change. I've seen it in every one of us. This isn't just hearsay. I've seen it in every man that I know. 27 years old, there is a shift. I used to really love this before, to I actually don't even care for that anymore. Mm-hmm. So, do you think that there is a shelf life on certain relationships when you're not taking that next step?
No, I think there's a shelf life in certain relationships when I'm not taking the next step towards marriage.
Whatever the next step is for you guys in your relationship.
When you're not taking the next step.
When you're just not taking the next step. So let's say you get married.
You plan to?
I think you always plan to take the next step.
You're just not doing it.
But you could get paralysis. You could get a paralysis by analysis, you know?
There has to be a cutoff. If you're not seeing a long-term future, there definitely is an end date for that.
I feel like if you could see a long-term future, right? But not make it act on it. Same thing as just like a goal or a dream that you have that you're not
Actively
acting on.
pursuing.
You're not actively pursuing, right? So it's like we're together 6 years. Okay, well, what is the plan for us to get married? Because I'm an adult now. 24, you're young. We would say you're a kid, but you're an adult.
Yeah.
You're an adult. You're a grown up. 24 years old. People are holding you accountable to things that you're saying now. You're 24. So with that being said, 24 years old, if I have a son and he's dating a girl of 24 years, first and foremost, if I have a son and he's dating a girl more than 3 years, I'm going to start telling him what it is. Hey, this is how she looking at you now. You guys,
Well, doesn't the age dictate that though?
That's what I'm saying, though. Because if you were dating a son, he's 18, he's 21, you're not going to be the same.
You're not gonna be saying that.
it's not even about age, bro. It's time. We're putting what our Los Angeles expectation is on certain things. It's time. You've been with this girl for 3 years and you still trying to figure out necessarily not what, but there has to be emotion and a talk on what the 3 years.
Yeah, but
3 years is a long time.
You even go in the South, right? You go in the South, 18 to 21, right? You still a child at 21, anywhere, right? And you be with somebody, and I'm not saying you saying get married, but you saying, yo, put the thought in your head, right? You turn 21 years old, bro, you at least 3 years removed from college to even get into the real world to be like, all right, this is going to be my wife.
Yes, I agree. But what I'm saying is, so I don't think 18 to 21 is necessarily a good depiction because the life hasn't transitioned. So using a transition, so let's say 18 the first year out of college, full year out of college, however old that is for somebody.
Or
Out of college, 18 to 23
or
20.
yeah.
We have to have that conversation. Like, we have to have the conversation. I know I'm young, but we've been together for 4 or 5 years, whatever you want to call it. But we now have to have the conversation because we're planning our future.
Man, that's hard.
And it's very difficult. And that's why I'm telling you, I would really talk to my son and say, hey, yo, you've been with this girl for 4 or 5 years. What are you telling her dad?
It's crazy because I was in that situation. I wasn't telling the girl's dad nothing. I'm like, I'm trying to figure my life out.
You were in a special situation, too.
Hey, but okay, just across the board though, across the board, a guy and a woman are together from 18 to 23, or 18 and 22. What do you think the chances are of that relationship lasting forever?
Come on, bro.
No, I'm serious. I'm talking about when we
Hey,
we
if a guy's
together
together from 28 to 32, what do you think the chances are of last forever?
28 to 32.
Forever? You mean getting married? Just getting married?
That's what I mean, to get married. Yeah.
Oh, okay, because forever. I mean,
That's marriage. That's what I mean.
it's like 10% of the population at this point. Nobody living.
Well, he's talking about marriage.
Oh,
Marriage,
okay.
I
He's talking
mean,
about marriage.
Okay. 18 to 22.
Do you think it's more likely that couple gets married or not?
Nah, I think the chances are lower.
It's lower.
I think the
'Cause they're
chances are
so
lower.
young.
So young.
They're so young. No
Still
matter
learning
Yeah.
themselves.
no matter
I
if
think
the
the
time
chances are
frame.
lower. I think people are going to shift, and I think people are going to change.
Yeah.
But
But you would never encourage your son to like break up and go find yourself.
no, I wouldn't encourage my son to be in a 6-year relationship.
Right. So
Honestly, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, long relationships,
Nah, don't need them.
yeah.
you don't need them.
Don't need them.
Yeah, but
Ain't no
like-
need.
Ain't no need.
Ain't
Like,
no need.
Okay, yeah, okay. So if my son go to college, I'm gonna tell him, hey, yo, don't get in a relationship in college. That's what I'm gonna tell him. Cause just focus on school. All right, folks, don't get in a relationship because you don't know what you want. But in the case that he's 18, 19, and he's with somebody, how can you be like, especially knowing that you want your son to get married, like, and let's say he's 4 years in with her, how can you be like, yo, because hey, this shit probably gonna last. You know what I'm saying? You probably know that, but he probably don't know that. So what do you say? Do you say, yo, hey, get married? Or do you say, hey, yo, whenever you want to split?
I feel like in teaching my son principles, if he's in a relationship at 19 and he's 24, then he's telling himself, I'm ready for what's next. He's telling himself, I'm
Based
ready
off
for
of
what's
what you
next.
have taught him
Based
and
off of what
how
I've
you've raised
taught him
him.
and how I've raised him. If he
Yep.
say, like, you know what? I met this girl, she's 19. Hey, dad, she pre-med though. And she bad. And she aligns with everything. I don't see me meeting something like this again. She love the Lord, son? Yeah, she do. Let's meet her family. and we like her family, oh yeah,
I see where you at with
I
it,
get
son.
it.
Yeah,
I get it. Like it's now,
but does part of you want to say like you just don't know what else is out there? Because again, that the age is so
no. I have experiences that I've had because I didn't know what was out there that I'm battling now. So no, I wouldn't put that on him. If he felt like he met his one when he was together from 19 to 24, he like, yo, dad, I'm thinking about it. Hey, if that's
Trust
what
your
you
intuition.
want, trust yourself.
Yep.
Me and your mother raised you right, brother.
Yep.
Go do your thing.
Yep.
If it worked, awesome. If it doesn't, he put his best foot forward. But what I'm saying is, we are all paying for demons that we have off of, nah, I need a little bit more time out here. Nah, a little bit more time out here.
Facts.
So I couldn't imagine if I would have found somebody who I was in alignment with mentally, emotionally, spiritually. I knew who I was for a long time. So I'm saying I was in alignment with them. Our families were in alignment. And that was the biggest separation that I think that I had in women was I was a young, black, educated man whose both of his parents was around and my siblings were educated and smart and healthy. And it was just very difficult for me to find my opposite. So I was just dating women that was in the space. It wasn't necessarily we were adjacent to each other. So with that being said, yeah, I'm gonna be going through people. We weren't in alignment. So if my son finds somebody that he is in alignment with and families are in alignment with, I'm not gonna tell him, hey man, you're not
probably
gonna
not gonna work.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tell him that based off of my experiences. Like I just.
But isn't that how we parent? Based off of our experiences?
Which is sometimes bad.
It's good. I know.
Because now we try to parent based off our experiences, but the world's changing.
Yeah.
I think people try to parent based off their lack. So, I didn't have this. I want to make sure you got this. I fell short on this. I want to make sure you don't do this. And I feel like that's the space that we parent from. So, again, we talking about principles and aligning your child with just giving them the education or giving her the education and the information. From that, I feel like then you can trust who they decide to be because you gave them everything you could give them. Like my dad, I feel like, honestly, all jokes aside, I feel like my dad stopped parenting at 12 years old. He kind of guided, but it was no more drilling who you are. No, I did.
Foundation is laid.
The foundation is laid, man. The foundation is laid. I can lay up and watch my TV now. So I don't feel like when my son is dating somebody for 5 years from 19 to 24, he'll be making a bad mistake.
So let's go back to the question. The question from our audience was, I'm in a relationship.
Yeah.
I want to get married. Should I give him the ultimatum?
It wasn't necessarily should I get married, but we brought that in there. Okay. It was just, I'm thinking about leaving. I want to give my partner an ultimatum. Should I do it? And we went into talking about ultimatums. If we're talking about ultimatums and my son says that, hey, my girlfriend gave me an ultimatum and he been with her for 5 years, I'm a big accountability guy. But what you think she was going to ask you after that?
She not wrong.
Nah. So now at that point, obviously she's getting indoctrinated from her family. So as families, we need to talk.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important. Like, I think it's crazy when I see people who are together for 4, 5, 6, 7 years and their parents don't know each other.
I didn't even know they had worlds that type of shit exists.
Yeah, that's normal.
It's normal, bro.
You're saying that's normal?
That's normal.
Wow.
No.
That's normal.
We need to have me and you. Now, you guys, I see, okay, 2 years, 3 years. We really need, matter of fact, when you guys first say we're official, me and your parents, we're going to meet. And then as you guys spend time together, we'll spend time together. Why wouldn't we? Makes no sense for us not to. So I feel like, again, back to talking about the strength of the family, it starts as early as that. How can the family be strong if we don't even know who our child is like dating? They're with. So it's normal, unfortunately, like Duke said.
Yeah, it's normal. Cause you gotta be intentional about that stuff. It's so easy to live like, hey yo, my family's over here, your family's over here, and my family just supports me, your family supports you, and or supports
I feel like
us.
that's hard. You
Or-
said that's
or-
easy.
or-
I feel like that is it's
Well,
hard.
I would say it's very easy for my mom to only know me and Chanel as me and Chanel, and not me and Chanel and Chanel's family.
I see.
Right?
I
It's
see.
very easy to Chanel's family to know me and Chanel as me and Chanel, but not my family.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Unless we have a engagement dinner.
Yep.
Something like that, right? Especially when you got people on
Different
different
sides of-
coasts,
yep.
and it's like that's a real thing. So, 6 years go by, like how many times you and your mom's met? Twice,
Yep.
like that can happen. But check this out. Let me ask you this, Jalon. Can a relationship that lasts a long time, right? Can a relationship become long-standing based on an ultimatum, right? So if someone doesn't have the absolute free will to be in that relationship, is it possible for that relationship to last?
It's possible. I don't think there's I think two truths can exist in that. Most people will say, no, somebody's going against their will, but I also feel like, you got coaches who help you get better and get you to another level, and your partner could coach you through a level that you need to get through sometime. Sometime you might have been a person, and we talked about kind of having past trauma growing up. You might have been a person who's never even seen what the next level of a relationship look like. So you're actually very comfortable there, and your partner is more advanced in that space. And they say, hey, this is what it looks like for us to move in this space, and this is what's gonna make me comfortable. So either we do it or we're not together anymore. And you're like, you know what? Let me take this leap for this person. And you take that leap, and you're like, oh, I should have been did this. She shouldn't even have had to ask me that to do that. And so I think it can. I think it can. I wouldn't say that it couldn't. I think it's a huge possibility that it can. I think a lot of, especially when you love somebody to that level to where, again, you can just trust your partner. Like, okay, I think they're going to lead us in the right space, but I think it can.
What you think?
I agree too, because sometimes it's gonna sound crazy, but sometimes I feel like an ultimatum could almost make you a better person. Hear me out when I say this. Hey, hold up, because you could make the decision to end up taking the next step in that relationship and realize that it turned you into a better man.
I got you.
And made you the best man possible. And as Jalon was talking about that, I'm thinking about we've dealt with ultimatums our entire life. Maybe not in a relationship space, but from in sports, you get ultimatums all the time. Hey, listen, if you're not here on time, you're not gonna make the team. If you don't come to practice, you're not making the team. I mean, that's an ultimatum in the smallest form. You know what I mean? And you understand that. And sometimes you'll say, I don't want to go, but I want to make the team. You go, you make the team, you realize you become a best football player. It takes you to the NFL, right? So like sometimes ultimatums can make you a better person. So I do believe that you could end up in an ultimatum and then be happy with your decision later on down the
But
line.
in relationships, though, I don't think so, because you guys are only thinking about like the person being affected by the ultimatum is the person, like the man, where I'm telling you, hey yo, do this or this, right? But what happens is, yo, if I give you an ultimatum and say, hey yo, if you don't do this, then I'm out, and then you do it, right? You're not even thinking about the person now. It's like, hey yo, in my mind, he's only doing this because I gave him an ultimatum, and he's not doing it of his free will. So a lot of his actions are going to be like, yo, does he even want to do this? Is he really committed to this? Because I actually pushed him into this. So that could psychologically play some tricks with someone's mind.
But I feel like those times, like that person wanted to make the decision anyway. They just didn't want to make it today.
You talking about the okay?
You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
it's like I was gonna make the decision
But
anyway.
still, the way we work, we try to find things. We try to find things. So if I say, yo, why don't you want to get married to me? And you tell me, well, look, babe, it's because of this, right? A woman will say, I hear you, but it's something else.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I don't believe you're telling me the
Full truth.
right?
Yeah.
Do you want to have sex with other women?
Yep.
Things like that. So
Yep.
those thoughts are always gonna be lingering. So I don't think it can work unless two people are absolutely sure that they want to get married to each other. In this case, the ultimatum is marriage in this case. All right, so that's what.
Well, so I think one thing that's important about the ultimatum being successful is we both have the end goal. We just have different timing.
Yep.
Okay.
We both have the end goal, but we might just both have different paths.
Okay.
So like I've seen couples where, hey, yo, the only way for us to have children, the only way that I want to have children is if one of us is home with the kids. So one of us got to quit our job. I can support us, but one of us got to quit our job. Typically, it's a woman, right? Do you think this many stay-at-home moms wanted to just be like, I just want it to be a stay-at-home mom and I don't want to do nothing else?
No, not all of them.
A lot of those came down to a compromise within, whether it was a verbal or a silent ultimatum. We won't be able to have kids unless. So I think things can be successful, but one thing I've learned about relationships is, especially, and we talking about forever, whether they did something that they didn't like last year, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you're going to eventually hear about it, though. You're going to hear about it. I'm not saying a relationship can't survive, but they're going to tell you, you know what?
And ultimatums.
Yeah. When I put my career on hold in order for us to start a
back
family, it really did something to my spirit. I watched you go to work for 20 years, and I appreciate you, how you held this family up. But I despised every single day that I got to watch you live your dream and I couldn't live mine.
Oof.
And you know what? You gotta listen to that.
Oof.
And like that,
That's
like,
heavy.
That's tough.
That's heavy, bro.
Like, but so I think those are other parts that do come with a successful ultimatum.
Right.
It was successful, but
Does that make it successful then?
I think it makes it successful because at the end of the day, the end goal is what we're trying to achieve.
It's crazy. You almost can't even get an ultimatum without both parties having the same end goal.
No.
Because it's an easy no.
No.
It's easy, yeah.
That's why an ultimatum with somebody you don't care about is
It's
laughable.
Empty threats.
Yeah,
Empty threats. Empty threats.
But I mean, you guys, we're sneaking up into the territory. We're sneaking up into the territory where we're going to have to make decisions that's going to affect us for the rest of our lives.
And families.
And the decisions that we make today, we're going to have to face in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So, fellas, Godspeed, man. Hopefully you guys make the right decisions, bro.
Seriously. But I feel like we need to help this person make a decision.
What advice do you have for somebody that is saying, like, man, I'm in ultimatum territory. I got to give an ultimatum here. Just general ultimatum advice.
Think carefully before you propose the ultimatum. Think carefully about it. Seek what you call wise counsel before you also present it to your partner. And be sure. Be sure about yourself before you present that ultimatum. So seek counsel, be sure, and think carefully about your decisions. Those would be my general approach. That would be my general approach to an ultimatum.
Should I give him an ultimatum? That's the general. Yes, you should.
If you ask nice and neat, should I give him an ultimatum?
Yes, you should.
You're probably long overdue for the ultimatum.
Yes.
Okay.
Just go ahead. All right, because two things will happen. You're gonna say no, or you're gonna say yes. Right? They both allow you to take action. Help you make a decision. So something's gonna happen from either of them. So yes,
it's good. I mean, I'm gonna piggyback off of O. I think it's important to know what you bring to the table before you give the ultimatum. Mm-hmm. Like, know who you are, because I would hate to give an ultimatum and it actually crushes who you're gonna be. But you got to know who you are. You got to know what you bring to the table, and you got to know that they know what they losing.
Yeah.
If they go the other way. So that's just the nice general counsel I feel like that Nice and Neat has for the audience.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, fellas. Anything else?
I'm good.
Jalen?
What you got?
Jalen, Jalon.
Jalen?
Don't say Jalen. Don't say Jalen, because
He said he got mad because
Jalen?
we call him
Luke. Yeah. If they be in the comments calling me
I
Luke.
actually reviewed a Zoom call we took with somebody, I took with somebody, and she was like, "Hey, I'm a big fan of you, Jalen and O," and I was like, "Yeah, Jalon."
Yeah.
I was like, "Nah, it's Jalon, it's cool." She was like, "Oh, sorry." I was like, "Nah, it's cool, Jalon." But that's it, y'all.
Yeah, he might hate Luke more than I hate Jalen. Nah, I hate
Nah,
Jalen.
Jalen, you be correcting me on the spotlight. But yo, if you enjoyed this episode, go ahead, drop a comment. Let us know what you thought. Give us some feedback. And be sure to follow us on all streaming platforms, on all social media platforms. Follow myself at Duke, Jalon at just.Jalon, and Omar at Omar.Bowden. Until next time, I'm Duke.
I'm Omar.
I'm Jalon, and this is another episode of Nice and Neat, and that's that on that.
I'll be the
Peace.
one to take the risk to go and get them bands. I'll be the one to never sit and go and make a plan. Knowing my mother getting old, now I don't got no time. Gotta keep a couple for the road, the rest get left behind. Yeah. To the hunters, pledge allegiance I stand. I'm a gold pro 4 in the white sand.